And we are underway. Boots are apparently in the dark world. And we start with 10 arrows in Link's house. As this is a standard mode, we start with the rain state, as in the vanilla game. You gotta go through the uncle drop down. All of the runners do have a sword, but you are unable to swing it until you actually talk to the uncle. Piece of heart from Uncle himself. Looks like we've got arrows in the guard pool and the flute in the sewer chest. That'll be a very nice item. Can activate it as soon as they get to Sanctuary. We'll see if any of the runners treat us, or rather, Julo Ninja will treat us to a flute serenade as they make their way through escape. The map chest with 300 rupees. A nice find. Again, won't need to grind for rupees on our way through Kakariko. Or could buy some bombs? And yes, having that flute spam serenade, whistling to let Zelda know that you're coming for her. Ambrosia, again, is a standard start with an assured sword. The uncle told us that the boots are going to be in the dark world, and all of the dungeon bosses will have a non-dungeon item. So it won't be a map, a compass, or a small key. Fila going for the swings on the sword, while Koi went for pot strats. And we get a cape from Zelda Cell. Can't really read too much into the logic at this point. The cape doesn't open up anything once we finish escape. And we know that since the guard pool does not have bombs in it, none of the runners are going to go out of their way to kill additional green or blue guards. However, since our runners do know that boots are in the dark world, they really would like to prioritize dark world access even more so than in a regular seed where they don't know where the boots are. And we know the guards can't drop bombs because, unlike in previous randomizer modes, the pools are not randomized but are one of the set item drop pools from the vanilla game. And since the guards dropped arrows, there's no prize pool which both share arrows and bombs. The ropes sharing that same prize pool, only dropping arrows. Get that required small key from Dark Cross. However, the rats have a different item pool, which has small magic in it. And I believe one of the pools that has small magic also has bombs in it. So Koi is farming some additional rats to increase the counter in the item pool to eventually get to those bombs. Jula Ninja also farming the rats, trying to find one. And I don't think any of our runners are going to get into any luck in getting those bombs for escape. Oh, Koi got it. Koi had killed enough rats to get to that bomb in the prize pack. Karnath had also got that. We get that map, 20 rupees, and the bow. Ooh. Bow is a nice find. And we get the blue boomerang in Sanctuary. Now, if GFE and Julo Ninja do go and get the glove, it's not too bad to go back and get that bow. But otherwise, they will need to go all the way through the escape again. We did get a map check, however, and we saw that there was a 6 crystal at Tower of Hera and regular crystals on Desert Palace and Eastern. Oh, sorry, and a pendant at Desert. The green pendant, in fact. GFE with that cape and the assured sword, gonna go take a look at the lumberjack ledge. Couldn't quite tell what that was, but he's not taking a second look. There's 10 arrows on lumberjack. Jula Ninja, the first one to make their way into the village. Going to go right into Blind's hideout, hoping for either a 3-bomb pack or something else useful that will make it easy to get additional bombs. And Blind's basement gives us 20 rupees, a piece of heart, an additional 20 rupees, 300 rupees, so we are loaded for cash in this seed, and 10 arrows from the back. Karna finding a piece of heart in the back of the tavern. Koi showing us the bottle vendor gives us 20 rupees. And Yulo showing us that we get the hook shot, the flippers, a bottle and a glove in the well. Okay. You know what? I don't think if I was feeling risky, I might not even go back with a bomb for the well, because I don't think there's anything that could top those 4 items. That gives us lots of access. They'll be able to go to the back of Escape and get those 3 chests easily as soon as they get some bombs with the glove. GFE will have a similarly no problem. And only a single rupee in the chicken hut. Have 1 item left to see in Escape, which will be whatever is behind that bombable wall at the back of the well. Everybody activating their flute and Kakariko, no surprise. It's very nice to see. Early. Aids with movement and routing. And with that hook shot and the flippers gives us lots of routing options. We could do the flippers checks over in around the Zora area. We could go up to Death Mountain and check out Paradox Cave. And that bottle gives us a sick kid, which gives us a shovel. Ooh. Alright, Koi gonna show us what's at the back of the well. Is it yet another hype item? Oh, heart container. Not gonna say no to that this early in the seed. The bow also gives us the ability to clear Eastern, although out of logic. We would need a fire source of some kind, as well as the bow. If we have the fire rod, we would need a preferable key layout in the front of Eastern in order to clear it in logic with the fire rod. And we get a mail on the race game. Yulo not interested in getting that, but is going to go and check that shovel from the bottle. We'll see if any of these runners choose to pick up the mail. Only a piece of heart from that shovel. Yulo with the hook shot, gonna go and check the 2 dam items. Allows, ooh, just kind of mistimed that hook shot clip, but with the right timing, you can hook shot your way past the block and open this chest, as well as go back and flood the dam. Still very early in this seed, although with the flute and the hook shot, we might see early divergence. While Yulo is doing these, standard South Shore checks, might see somebody go up to the mountain. Looks like GFE is going to go and check Desert Ledge and Agina. Desert Ledge itself being only 20 rupees. And Yulo making their way into Mini Moldworm Cave. Another 5 items in here. Get the other boomerang, the Titan's Mitts, 5 rupees, the Moon Pearl, and 50 rupees. All right, we have Dark World access. And the Ether Medallion is in Agina. This is definitely an Ambrosia seed. The seed is giving and giving and giving, and this well is not running dry. With the flute, gonna go and make their way over to Ice Rod Cave as well. Makes sense, make a nice, easy, quick trip. With the Titans and the Moon Pearl and that hook shot, notably is East Death Mountain open, but so is Dark Death Mountain. Only 20 rupees at Ice Rod Cave. Not that surprising. And Yulo is not going to go and take that Death Mountain trip, but is going to use those flipper checks. We'll see if anybody else. Karnath just got their Titan's Mitts as well, are floating away. Koi is going to go do the flipper checks, and Karnath, is following in Yulo's footsteps and going to Ice Rod Cave. Only 20 rupees from the gentleman under the bridge, and there was a question in chat about finding bombs early. That was certainly an issue in this seed, where Koi and Karnath managed to learn what the bomb drop pools were for the rats in Sanctuary and got a bomb, while Yulo and GFE did not. But good places to check for bombs are to know your prize packs and which ones have bombs and which ones don't. Always check your bush crabs and learn about tree pulls and the 3 tiers of them. If you can get a bomb in a tier 1 or a tier 3 tree pull, that doesn't take much to set up. Get a piece of heart and a full heart in Waterfall Cave, and a blue goo refill from the fairy. Alright. Karna is rescuing the old man. We're going to get some Death Mountain checks. Just a piece of heart from the old man. And 20 rupees on Zora Ledge. Koi not doing the Zora checks and is also making their way up Death Mountain. And King Zor today has 50 rupees, 10% refund. Only 20 rupees inside Spectacle Rock. And bombs on the ledge. Alright, Eula going back to escape will be very happy to see their bow there. And Koi is going into Spectacle Rock, while Karnath checking Paradox 2 for a pair of big 20s. A heart container is on a boss. That's actually not even more useless of a hint than normally would be. Since this is an Ambrosia mode, all of the bosses do have some kind of items. Alright, Paradox 5 gives us the Master Sword, a heart piece, some of those pesky bombs that we were looking so hard for, another 300 rupees, and 50 rupees. We have found 3 of the 4 300 rupee packs. And Eula going to give us our first look at Eastern. Giving us another bottle, piece of heart, and the Quake Medallion. And with that bow, I imagine that Eula Ninja is going to full clear Eastern. Logic be darned. The other unique thing about Ambrosia that will be relevant in this seed is that the uncle spoiled the boots location. So all of our runners know that the boots are somewhere in the Dark World. Karna making the long walk through Spiral Cave. Maybe thinking, maybe I should have done some Dark World checks before going in here. Get to go through with the boots. Get the compass as the first item in Eastern. And yes, the in the Dark World would mean the Dark Overworld. So it wouldn't include anything in dungeons, it wouldn't include anything on Death Mountain, and it doesn't include any mirror spots or the Smith Chain fetch quests. Early big key in Eastern, so if one of our runners finds a fire rod, that would put the back of Eastern in logic. All right, getting 2 of our Dark Death Mountain checks soon from Karna. Using the hook shot to clip through these blocks, similar to in Swamp. Okay, that's all 3 dungeon items in the front of Eastern, so regardless, there is an item that is lamp-locked. Alright, Koi giving us our Dark World check. Looked like our other 5/6 crystal was at Ice Palace with one of our red pendants at Skull Woods, and I missed where the blue pendant is. Oh, Karna skipped the blue mail off of Race Game, but gets a backup here in Super Bunny along with the blue cane. Blue cane opens absolutely no items at all unless we find the hammer, but in that case we still would have had access to Spike Cave thanks to that early cape from Escape. Hookshot Cave. You get 5 rupees. The magic powder. There's our lamp. And the bombs. Alright, the lamp puts this Eastern play fully into logic now. And it looks, thanks to our tracker Link Force, it looks like Swamp Palace is our other pendant. So knowing that our 5/6 crystals are Ice Palace and Tower of Hera, we are 100% certain that Aghanim is not required. With those flippers, we have full access to all of the Dark World. The only thing that could have been Aga would be if the hammer was in Pyramid Fairy. However, since we need the hammer to clear Ice Palace, that Pyramid Fairy play is dead. The hammer is somewhere available. A mirror could be used to access Tower at Hera or the hammer. It's too early to say what would be a good play or not a good play right at this point, but oh no, Yulo just missed the last arrow for the quick kill on the Armos fights. Gets a heart container, and more importantly, his first crystal at 2258. And now Eula will make their way up Death Mountain following our other runners. Nobody's going and taking that Dark World play yet. Everybody's choosing to do the Mountain and then Eastern. We'll see if GFE is going to do that after his Hookshot Cave, sorry. As always, the discussion about PED in chat. We really don't have any information about what can or cannot be on PED. One things we know for certain can't be on PED would be the hammer, which is required for Swamp Palace. Either the mirror or the book to get into Desert Palace, and the fire rod for Skull Woods. Anything outside of that could be on PED, but until we get those items, we really can't say. If PED's not in logic, there's not really a whole lot of point in discussing where it can or cannot be. Okay. GFE, are you going to make the Dark World play? Thinking about it, but is starting from his house, which suggests an Eastern play, but he is fluting. We know the boots can't be on Ped because Uncle gave us the hint that the boots are in the Dark World, which means the Dark Overworld. It's not in a dungeon, it's not in a mirror spot, and it's not on a fetch quest that's turned in the Light World. So boots could be on the bumper ledge. They could be in anywhere in Village of Outcasts. Could be the digging game. Could be Stumpy. Could be Hype Cave. Could be Catfish. And there's one other one that was in my head. Pyramid Fairy. I'd say it's both surprising and not surprising that all of our runners are choosing to do Eastern. It is a completable crystal, and with the lamp they found in Hookshot Cave is 100% in logic. And even though Titan's Mitts gives you slightly better access in terms of routing the Dark World, it's a bit of a pain because you only have the one Dark World portal by Village of Outcasts. And again, some of those boots locations are quite out of the way. Like, for instance, if boots were on Pyramid Fairy, which is a Dark World location, it means that they are locked behind a Tower of Hera and Ice Palace clear. So there's no particular reason in chasing them. Karnath with a fairly good Armos kill, didn't quite get the quick kill, but still avoided the last Armos turning red. Koi on his Armos fight is also set up for the quick kill and gets it no problem. We have not seen any main Dark World checks. We have only seen Dark Death Mountain checks. But I believe Karna, with having cleared Eastern and done Dark Death Mountain, is going to give us our first Village of Outcasts check. And yeah, Pyramid is quite annoying to check until you get the hammer. But Koi is going to go and give us a Mire area check. We do know it's a crystal. We'll need to know what the medallion is for it. We already know where Ether and Quake are, and it is in fact Ether. So if Koi happens to find the mirror, he'd be able to mirror right to Agina and get that Ether medallion. And potentially open up Mire. Get half magic in the Mire shed, along with the fourth 300 rupee drop, and that's all that Koi can do there. Karna doing a Skullwoods check, gets the first item in the form of 20 rupees. And a small key. Making his way over to the pinball chest. Which is a compass. There's the Skullwoods map. We have the vanilla big key chest check. And if it is not the big key, then we are out of checks in Skullwoods. But Karnath is not going to go and check that vanilla big key chest. But he will go his way over and check Bumper Cave. And there are the boots. So that early cape and escape gonna pay off. And great point from chat, since Skullwoods only has 2 items, and we know one of them will be on the boss, then yeah, obviously he knows that since we found that big 20 in the front, the other item, whatever it is on the boss behind the fire rod. Oh, GFE again, just missing that Armos quick kill. And Karnath, the first one of our runners to get the boots, sadly does not have the mirror to route in the boots checks at the same time, but will make their Village of Outcast checks quite a bit quicker. All right, GFE also making the Meyer play. Now, he already checked Agina and has that Ether Medallion. We'll see if he decides to dip into Meyer without the Cane of Samaria. Have a big 20 from the chest game. And we get the Book of Medora in the brewery. All right, Karna. No reason to not go into Thieves' Town right now, except for the fact that there might be an item behind the hammer in the hammerlock chest. We'll have to see if that chest contains a dungeon item, a small key, or something more important. The chances of it being a dungeon item are greatly reduced since we found the compass in the first chest. Koi choosing to skip out on Thieves' Town for now. Doesn't want to abandon an item in that big chest that is locked behind the hammer. First item in Thieves' Town is 10 arrows. And the second item is another big 20. There are 2 items in the back. One of them is a small, along with a small key and the map. Koi finding his tempered sword in the dig game. That's not half bad to find. Karnath trying to set up for that dash through the hellway in Thieves' Town. Doesn't quite get it, but manages to come out relatively unscathed. And we got the Cane of Samaria on Stumpy. So as soon as Koi goes to Agina to get that Ether Medallion, he'll be able to full clear Meyer. But we are going to get a Hype Cave check. And we get the mirror. Oh, that's fantastic for routing. Heart container, yet another 300 rupees. 5 rupees and a heart container. So the mirror is interesting. That will take Koi up towards the northern Dark World, and he'll get his boots. But does it look like... Oh no, Koi is going to go and check the Bombos tablet. I was thinking he might dip into Swamp, but since there's only one non-key chest to get in there... And is Karnath? Karnath knows one item is on the boss and that the other item was in the attic, so He knows that it is just the small key and the compass in both the maiden's chest and the big chest. So what is our fourth item in Mire? It is on blind. GFE, the third of our on-stream runner to get the boots. And last item in Thieves Town is a heart container. And that is the second crystal for Karn. I'm not sure why GFE is trying to do the Kern jump. He has flippers, but you know what? Swag be swag. Kern jump is a fun glitch where if you bomb on the same frame you hit the water, it sets up a fake flipper state. And Yulo thinks he's in big trouble because he got that small key, but as long as he remembers that blind has the last item, it's actually fine. I'm getting 2 checks on the bottom here, Koi with the Smiths and GFE with Catfish. Only a piece of heart on the Catfish, while Karna gets their Tempered Sword, and we get bombs from the Smiths. We're also going to go and check the powder, but he's got the mirror now. And that is the Fire Rod from the Magic Bat. Fire Rod will be essential for clearing Turtle Rock. It also will let us get into Ice Palace, although to full clear we still need that hammer. GFE, not finding anything of interest on the Pyramid Ledge, is going to go and make a dip into Pod. We have certainly seen a vanilla hammer and pod more than a few times. With the lamp and the bow, we'll be able to get 4 of the 5 items, as the 5th item is guaranteed to be on Helmasaur. Koi finds a nice present in terms of the silver arrows, or rather the second bow in the purple chest. Going to take his mirror and go up to Tower of Hera. While GFE spends a couple of his, his spare rupees, tosses the monkey a coin. Is the monkey a witcher? I don't think so. Ether Medallion is in Agina's hideout. We get a small key at the front of Pod. Yulo Ninja about to go and get his Samaria from Stumpy. Getting an Ether Tablet check from Koi. Another piece of heart. We have matching tablets today. Koi making his way into Tower of Hera. Our first item is a piece of heart, and so the second item will be on Moldorm. Now, Koi, without the boots, is likely going to set up Herapod, but no, deciding not to. It is possible to set up Herapod without the boots. It's a little trickier, though. Is choosing just to climb the tower instead. And we got the Ice Rod in Palace of Darkness. So we are right now missing the hammer and the Bombos medallion for our no mode. This is a Ambrosia mode where there are guaranteed non-dungeon items on the bosses. GFE without that mirror from Hype Cave had to perform a death warp. And our second item in Tower of Hera is another 100 rupees. A very rich seed, both in terms of rupees and items. Ideally, our runners would love to, whichever items that they're missing first, is find the Bombos medallion first. Because the Bombos medallion isn't going to lock anything. If our runners find the hammer first, well, that's a bit of a bigger issue. Because then there's so many other items and places to check. Koi unfortunately did not do North Dark World checks, does not have his boots from Bumper Ledge. Some cash is above the pose. Oh no, that's going to disincentivize Koi from going and checking that North Dark World. Right now, Koi would have Bumper Ledge, Bonk Rocks, and King's Tomb, but no longer Graveyard Ledge. Alright, we have no Vanilla Hammer and Paw. There was just a big 20 in the big chest. Still looking for the big key in Desert. We know the first item was the bug net on the torch, and it looks like our big key is going to be Vanilla. Second item will be on Lan Molas. But speaking of King's Tomb, GFE is going to give us a look at that. Only a piece of heart. And Yula Ninja takes the crystal lead with 3 at 43 minutes. No, second item could not be in the big chest because this is Ambrosia mode and there is a guaranteed non-dungeon item on the boss. Alright. Karn is about to get his Ether Medallion from Agina. We see there is only bombs in Checkerboard Cave. And Yulo is also about to get his Ether Medallion. Silver arrows, making Lan Molas no problem at all for Koi. With a vanilla heart container on the boss and the green pendant, giving us another item to check. And Yulo Ninja now with the Ether Medallion No plans to skip Mire. It is full clearable at this point. Karna has not done Stumpy, it seems like, and doesn't have the Cane of Samaria, but does have the Mirror from Hype Cave. This is not all dungeons. It is a standard mode with Ambrosia settings, which meant they started with a sword, the uncle spoiled the boats, and there is always a item on a boss. Yulo Ninja into Mire. Taking care of Mire 2 with sword beams. Almost got the one cycle. Right now, Yulo Ninja has the dungeon lead, but I would say GFE has quite the advantage with that ice rod. Koi has an advantage with the fire rod from the purple chest. Oh, sorry, silvers were in the purple chest. The fire rod was on the magic bat. We are in the search for both the hammer and the Bombos medallion. Hammer is required not only for Pod, it's also required for Ice Palace and Turtle Rock. Bombos medallion only required for Turtle Rock. Okay, first item in Mire was a big 20 in the map chest. We are looking for the big key still. With finding a non-small key item in that map chest, it highly suggests the big key is not in the cutscene chest, but it could be. Mire key logic is a little bit weird. The only thing you know for sure is that if you do find a small key in that spike chest, the big key has to be in the cutscene chest, but it's not this year. Not in this seed. It's right next to the big chest. So we know the second item is on the boss. That's the one really fun thing with these Ambrosia seeds, is that as soon as you find one item, you know the second is in the boss, and you can stop looking for items. Yulo Ninja without the fire rod is not able to set up spooky action. Koi could set up spooky action without boots, but it's a little bit of a obscure-ish setup, and I'm not sure if I wasn't paying attention to see if he's done it. Yeah, the uncle did say Dark World for boots, which again is just kind of like overworld locations. Koi did a little bit of the overworld location, doing Village of Outcasts and the South Loop, but skipped Thieves Town. Nothing that important Thieves Town, so that's no issue. While Yulo Ninja is on Vitreous. Doing Cape Dash strats with the Tempered Sword is a nice quick way to take out the eyes. And a bunch of arrows to the big eye. Take it out. For a second item being a whole 5 rupees. we're coming down to some rather unfortunate places for that hammer to be. It could be in Ice Palace. It could be that first chest of Swamp Palace. Could be on Mothula. Or it could be on that green pendant from Desert. Koi with silver arrows will have a easier Vitreous fight, although even with Tempered it wasn't that bad. But Koi is choosing to do the Tempered strats anyway. Or a combination of Tempered and Silvers. GFE getting their Cane of Samaria, knowing that they can now complete Mire. Hammer is not on Lumberjacks. Lumberjacks was checked quite early. It is only 10 arrows. GFE about to get their mirror from Hype Cave. We'll see what Koi does now. Where is he going to flute to? He is fluting to 3. I imagine this is likely North Dark World and then perhaps dipping into Thieves Town, which will give Koi his boots, but unfortunately not much else. He will, however, be able to get that second item out of Skull Woods from the Moth. And yeah, this is Thieves Town for Koi. His first entry. So just to recap, we had a standard opening with an Assured Sword. The escape gave us both the cape and the flute. While we made our way through Kakriko, we found the glove, the flipper, the hook shot, a bottle, which we turned in for a shovel. There was a mail on the race game that everybody decided to skip. And then everyone decided to do South Shore, which was a great move because it gave us the Titan's Mitts and the Moon Pearl. The first bow was in the back of Escape, behind a bomb. Koi and Karna had gotten bomb drops from Escape and got that early, while GFE and Julo Ninja got that first glove after, or got the bow after their first glove in Kakriko. After that, we had a little bit of divergence, but everybody eventually made their way up to the mountain for Paradox Cave, which gave us our Master Sword, and Hookshot Cave, which gave us the lamp. And I believe Quake was on Death Mountain as well. Then everybody went and cleared Eastern, which gave us not much besides that crystal. We saw a little bit of divergence. Everybody has eventually gone to Agina to get the Ether Medallion for Mire. The boots were on Bumper Ledge, which Koi has not made their way up to. He has now, though, gotten his third item from Thieves Town, and as long as he's counting, he'll know that that last one is on blind, and he made a good play coming in here without the hammer. In terms of checks that people have made that everybody else hasn't made, as we said, Koi has not made their way over to Bumper Cave to get those boots. Yulo Ninja has not turned in the powder to get their Fire Rod, and neither has Karnath or GFE. GFE got the Ice Rod out of Pod, and Cardiff did do the South Dark World checks, but missed the Cane of Samaria on Stumpy. So we're looking for both Bombos and the Hammer. Our available locations right now are the non-Hammerlock checks in Ice Palace, the first non-key chest in Swamp Palace, and the green pendant, which Koi has and needs to Koi and Julo Ninja have to turn in, and the item on Mothula. And yes, the second bow, or aka the silver arrows, were on the purple chest, but since everybody got their tempered sword from the dig game, not a big loss. And once again, there's not a whole lot of point in discussing PED until we find that hammer. The PED is completely out of logic because Swamp is not completable without the hammer. Alright, Koi going to do the North Dark World checks, or is he going into Skullwoods? He's doing Skullwoods. Cardiff gets his Ice Rod from Palace of Darkness, hoping for a vanilla hammer, but is not going to have any such luck in here. He only had a piece of heart from the magic bat. We'll see if Yulo picks that up or leaves it be. Leaves that on the ground. This is Koi's first trip into Skullwoods. He knows that one item is on the boss. The other item is in the front chests, and I believe it was a big 20. And if talking about PED made PED not required, I would sing about the PED all seed, every seed. But sadly, Rando does what Rando does. And yeah, with the book from the tavern and the mirror from Hype Cave, we could get a PED check, and all that PED discussion would go to quiet as soon as possible. Sadly, we can't get the vampire skewer on PED because we found that in the Thieves' Hideout. And Yulo Ninja is going to be the first person who turns in that green pendant. It's a single rupee, but Koi has the hammer from the moth. So that's fantastic for Koi. Nobody else is on the path to turn in that powder for the fire rod. Koi is going to be going and clearing all the other chests in Skullwoods looking for that last item, which unfortunately is just rupees. But that's the way that Rando goes. So yes, technically PED would be in logic, but Koi is going to mirror and check it right away. And Koi is hoping that he will not see the words "burn, baby, burn," which would indicate the Bombos medallion. And it is... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's just have a moment of silence. See, maybe I should just talk about PED all the time, you know? Talking about PED always precludes it not being PED, right? So if I don't want to see a PED seed, obviously, and I don't want my runners that I'm commentating about to see a PED seed, I just need to keep talking about it. So Koi is in almost no mode. He still needs to get that ice rod. So for our other runners, they need to prioritize checking that magic powder. Karna has already done the Smith chain, so he really has that powder isolated. GFE did Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town, but has not done the Smith chain yet. And Yulo Ninja is in the same position as GFE. The Ice Rod is the bridge chest in Palace of Darkness. And Koi sees his boots in the Dark World as the uncle foretold. Koi will still be looking for the Ice Rod, so we'll do the boots checks around here. He did check the hint in Desert Palace and knows that it's just cash on Graveyard Ledge and will be abandoning that check. But it will be interesting. The one nice thing for Koi is that unless he thinks that Ice Rod is in Spike Cave, he'll only have to climb the mountain once. GFE gets his green pendant from Lanmolas, while Karna is also in Desert, taking care of it. Okay, Koi, which dungeon are you going to take care of? I'm not sure what this check is going to be. It's taking care of Thieves Town and Skullwoods, Hammer Pegs, of course. This is the one isolated check in this location, and Koi does like to be thorough in his checks. And Yulo Ninja is going to get the news very soon that it is indeed Bombos on PED. Only bombs in the Hammer Pegs. Now for Koi, that Ice Rod could still literally be anywhere, and so he might just decide to go mode Swamp Palace, pull PED, and then take care of Ice Palace and Pod. And yeah, that's looks like what Koi is going to do. Is going to go into Swamp, get that last required pendant, but who knows if he checks things along the way, looking for the Ice Rod. Probably checks a couple of the easy ones. GFE is setting up for the Harapot using spin speed. Since he got the one item, he knows that the other item is on Moldorm. And Yulo Ninja making the play. We'll have both the Fire Rod and the Ice Rod. And for Koi, it's not a huge decision to not check the bottom wall. Koi knows that he's only looking for the Ice Rod, and he's going to be opening up other checks along the way in Pod. No sense checking anything that's not a quick check in Swamp. Yulo Ninja getting the silver arrows. And Karnath also making the great play to go and check Magic Bat. Will get his Fire Rod shortly. And he will actually be in no mode once he takes care of Mothula. Koi might check these two chests down by the flooded room because they're pretty quick to check with boots. Oh, that's right. Thank you for pointing out that, yeah, Karna has skipped Stumpy and therefore has skipped the Cane of Samaria. Ice Rod was on the bridge of Palace of Darkness. So if Koi decides to maybe turn in Green Pendant and do Pod after Swamp, might not be a bad idea. At that point, he would then be able to go mode Ice. But he's just as likely to decide to do Ice Palace first. And Karnath skipping Skull Woods, even though he has a Fire Rod, in favor of doing Ice Palace. Koi gets his last pendant from Argus, while Yulo Ninja takes out the Moth and grabs their hammer. Alright, GFE grabs Purple Chest, switches to Mirror, and then he will be the last of our runners to get that Fire Rod from Magic Bat. And Koi is going back into Swamp Palace. Okay, Yulo Ninja is now in no mode. Is going to go and take care of Palace of Darkness. Right now, he has the big key and knows he can run straight to the boss. I imagine he will do then Ice Palace, then Swamp, Pulped, clear TR. Yulo Ninja did check Pedestal. Koi and Yulo Ninja are the two that have pet information. GFE has gotten their silver arrows. Karnath, with not finding a small key or a big key here in the... No, wait, sorry. I had hookshot logic in my head and not hammer logic. And no, Koi did not flood the small key. He got it beforehand. This is his second trip into Swamp Palace. Alright, we got the big key in the freezer chest. Big key having a small key. There are 2 more chests that Karnath can check here in Ice Palace without the hammer, neither of which is going to be the item he is looking for. And the last item for Koi is the big 20. Alright, GFE gets their hammer off of Mothula, has both items out of Skullwoods, and unsurprisingly is going to go and take care of the pedestal and get the information. Koi doing himself a favor, going straight to Pod, which makes sense. Gets that other single green rupee from Sahasrara. And Karnath doing the one last check in Ice Palace. It is not his hammer. It is our first shield of the match. With the key layout in Pod, I think that Koi will get the Ice Rod quickly. I cannot recall where the big key was in Pod, though. There's a small key in this chest, which will let him go to the middle and get that Ice Rod. And okay, the big key is in the dark maze. But with this key layout, Koi will likely go and do the bow side first, rather than stealing a key. I would say the only one in oh no mode, as Chad is asking, would be Karna, who skipped the Cane of Samaria on Stumping. Alright, GFE is also in no mode. Going to do a quick clear of swamp as possible. And just a quick reminder to give all these runners a follow. They all stream rando regularly, and you can learn a lot by watching their own streams, understanding their motivations, understanding their routing choices. Highly recommend. Koi still needs to find the big key, which is in the dark maze. That's the unfortunate thing about Pod compared to Ice Palace or Swamp Palace or Skull Woods. You gotta find that big key. Little bit of a quiet week here on Speed Gaming because so many of the runners that we love to feature, as well as their staff, are at Awesome Games Done Quick. But I believe starting on Sunday, we will have a whole schwack of more tournament matches in the main tournament match as Yulo Ninja takes on Cold Stare. Tempered Sword and Fire Rod with half magic. Fairly easy fight. Karna gets his hammer from the moth. And we got 10 arrows from Cold Stare. So I'm trying to think here. In terms of boss items, I would say the only great one that we got was that hammer on moth. I know I saw 2 vanilla heart containers. Saw a bunch of arrows. A couple of rupees. In terms of really good items to have left, you know, we might still find that 4th sword. We know the other male is still on the race game, and our runners would be happy to avoid the mirror shield. And Yulo Ninja absolutely in the lead at this point. We'll have a Go Mode Swamp versus Koi's Full Clear. And GFE is going to be the first one of our runners actually in Go Mode. With the all-needed Bombos medallion from the pedestal. However, Yulo Ninja is a pod ahead of him. Or rather, an Ice Palace ahead of him. I would say that the gap between GFE and Yulo is not insurmountable at this point. It would take a fairly large divergence in, say, GT, as well as maybe some execution mistakes. Alright, we got 3 runners in various states of Ice Palace. Karnath about to take on the boss, his second trip into Ice Palace since he went in there originally looking for the hammer. And Yulo Ninja into Argus to get his final pendant. And yes, the objective is to kill Ganon. There's no fast Ganon, there's no modified crystals. Seed started in standard mode with an assured sword. Uncle told us the boots were in the Dark World. And the goal was to clear all 7 crystals and enter Ganon's tower. Unfortunately, along the way, we also had to clear all 3 pendants, since the required Bombos medallion is on the pedestal. Yula Ninja's a quick mirror, flute, head pull, and climb up the mountain to get to his final crystal dungeon. Now for Karnath, he may decide to go and, once he clears Pod, clear Swamp looking for that Cane of Samaria, and pull Ped, just because. Unfortunately, that's not going to take him back to Stumpy. And Yulo Ninja, how has his Ring of Fire? GFE grabs his crystal while Koi enters his Cold Stare fight. Nice application of spin speed to get up the mountain a little bit quicker. We did have access to Death Mountain quite early. This is our second trip up here. And other than the lamp, there wasn't really anything required up here. So you might have been able to avoid climbing Death Mountain entirely this seed. Ah, yes, the powder. Thank you, Link Force. Our tracker extraordinaire, taking care of all 4 of them here tonight. In fact, if it was possible to turn in that powder earlier and get the fire rod, you could have maybe only had 1 climb up Death Mountain, or 2 climbs up Death Mountain. 1 to get that powder, and once to get into Turtle Rock. You could have avoided and done Hera as your last crystal. It was a seed where you had the option of either doing Dark World early or Death Mountain early. And without the hammer or mirror early, I think that Death Mountain likely made more sense. Alright, Karna has finished Pod. Where are you gonna go? Looks like this will be a full clear of Swamp for Karnath. Piece of heart and a small key in the roller room. As Koi is about to enter Turtle Rock himself. Oh, that's right. Karnath has the big bomb to check. We may have a vanilla butter sword. We do have a vanilla big key in Turtle Rock. No key stealing shenanigans this time. Someone in chat said that Koi is 1 minute 45 seconds behind, which is absolutely, Ganon's tower routing. There's our Turtle Rock big key. As GFE climbs the mountain himself. Yellow Ninja not taking the risk that the Crystal Roller Room has a small key and is going to check that big chest. Could have paid out this time. We get our third bottle from there. So if Koi wants to make up a little bit of time, he could certainly make that gamble and go straight right after the double pokies. Yellow Ninja making their way through the dark maze. I have to traverse Laser Bridge for our last small key. And I misspoke earlier. I meant that Yellow Ninja was gambling that the last small key was not in the big chest. It could have been in that crystal roller chest, but it was in fact on Laser Bridge, but it was the top of Laser Bridge. Koi making the similar statement that, you know what, having that last small key in the big chest is not worth having to go all the way back. Yellow Ninja going for the safer but slightly slower front strats with Tempered Sword. Pretty good Fire Head and a similarly good Ice Head, dodging the middle head. And a quick phase 3. And Yellow Ninja will have their 7th crystal, as well as a mushroom. So, as our runner has their 7th crystal, he now has the ability to enter Ganon's tower. I know that chat likes to, yeah, there goes the numbers. Not going to start the official bot because we do have off-stream racers who may be ahead of our on-stream runners. But feel free to throw some numbers in chat about where you think that big key is going to be based on Yellow Ninja's routing. Koi also taking the time to make sure to check the top of Laser Bridge first, so won't lose any time there. Blue Ninja into Ganon's tower. Getting the mirror ready to mirror out of the Hope Room. Chest 1 is 20 rupees, and chest 2 is a piece of heart. Couldn't go right side even if you wanted to. Koi also doing the front strats on Trinex. Only bombs on the torch, so boots were absolutely not required at all this seed. Into Dark Magician room for an additional 20 rupees. Small key. Another small key. And another small key. Yula Ninja not going to mirror and do Pink Magician, but is going to continue left. Map room is a piece of heart. GFE also making the right call to start at the top of Laser Bridge. Yula Ninja just making a slight miscalculation on those Bloomerang strats, but gets it the second time. Into the Fire Snake room for a piece of heart. Few teleports and a bomb to get their way into Rando room for an additional 4 checks. And yes, if you are coming in late, this was in fact a pedestal seed with the Bombos medallion for Turtle Rock on the pedestal. You get bombs, a heart container, a bottle, and 20 rupees in Randomizer room. Koi is also going to continue left after finding all those keys in the Stelphos room, while GFE finishes off Trinex. Now, if GFE decides to do Pink or Dark Magician, he could potentially gain a lot of time unless the big key is on Bob or behind the Ice Armos. But Bob only holds 10 arrows in his chest. Alright, Karnath has finished Swamp. Oh, I thought he was going to go and run over as like, oh, did I forget Stumpy? But no, was just looking for another mirror location. But he will at least get his Bombos. And there is the big key in number 17. Let's see. Doesn't look like anybody actually guessed 17. Oh yes, we did. Lady Wishy. Congratulations, Lady Wishy. Enjoy your kudos and your shout-out. So really the only way that you could have made up time on Ganon's Tower Big Key is if you decided to do something crazy, like go full right. Nobody would go full right. But Karnath gets his Bombos medallion from Pedestal. I'm sure he's happy to see it, but it's not what he was looking for. I can only imagine that... Oh, looks like he is going to go and check Spike Cave. Well, Yulo is climbing the gauntlet. With Tempered Sword, Silvers, and Half Magic, you can do a nice combination of dash strats and fire rod shots to take care of all the enemies in these rooms. It's a little bit execution, a little bit RNG. The only disadvantage with a fire rod is occasionally the animation for the enemy dying takes a little bit of time, and so some players will prefer to use arrows. Karnath getting the bad news that no, his cane is in Not Spike Cave. And I think Karnath has realized that he has forgotten someplace. The enemy movements in this gauntlet have been incredibly rude for both Yulu Ninja and Koi. But Yulu Ninja takes care of the torches. It's on their way to Torches 2. And Karnath is checking the inventory. Is there a fetch quest that I forgot to turn in? Yulu Ninja checking that one last chest. Maybe there's a butter sword in there. Make Ganon a little bit easier. Save a little bit of time in phases 1 and 2 with the butter sword. But there is no sword to be found at the top of Ganon's tower. Oh, and Karnath is going back. It's like, did I forget to check Hammer Pigs, or did I not check Hammer Pigs? This must be my cane, right? And we've all been there. We've all been there as Yulu Ninja is taking on Aga 2. Unfortunate pattern for number 1. No hits on that. But a nice double out of phase 2. Single and 3 has gone 0-2-1. 0-2-1-0. And GFE about to grab his big key. And it looks like Karnath realized his error. Might have thought that, oh, maybe I didn't check the shovel, but it was Stumpy. Oh. Yeah, there's something to be said about rage spins as Yulu gets whisked away from the bird and dropped into the pyramid. And Yulu Ninja is on to their Ganon fight. 12 slashes in phase 1. And get some 1-in-1 slashes and spins for phase 2. Until phase 2 starts, because you get that other ring of fire. Karna has actually already pulled Bombos from pedestal. Koi takes care of his Aga fight. Is about to enter into his Ganon fight with the same equipment as Yulu Ninja. Yulu Ninja already 3/4 of the way through phase 3. Just need the teleports to cooperate. Oh no, Silver Arrow is my one true weakness. Got a nice double there. One more hit for Yellow Ninja. And that is 4 silver arrows into the pig. Yellow Ninja crosses the bridge and finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 9 seconds. That's good for first place on our restream and third place overall. Koi on his Ganon fight now, on the last of the slashes for phase 3, and makes his way into phase 4. The first place time was from Bwain with a 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 48 seconds. And that's all 4 silver arrows for Koi. Let's get some GGs in chat for Koi. As he crosses the bridge with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 2 seconds. That's for 5th place. In between Julo Ninja and Koi was Lin 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 with a 4th place time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 42 seconds. We'll see if we can get both of them into chat. And we are joined by both Yulo Ninja and Koi. GG's?
GG's.
Okay, so... Oops, all dungeons.
No. It was just Etsy. Oops All Dungeons is when you pull a pedestal and it was nothing. It's like when you accidentally all dungeons.
I agree with this. It was a fast pet seed, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 140 is not too bad of a time. Both of you had a pretty similar route all the way through the seed. Koi was definitely the first one to Fire Rod out of all the restreamed runners. And I believe Koi was also the first one who gave us the bad news about Ped.
I don't remember where the Fire Rod was.
Magic Bat.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so I finally give up and say, all right, fine, I'll go to Village of Outcasts. And my plan was to just route south to Pod and skip Thieves Town on the way, just in case. Because it really felt like it was just going to be in Hammer and Pod or something. And then I get to Hide Cave and it's like, here's a mirror, after you just walked past every single mirror location. So I just turned around and went backwards.
That was actually some pretty fortunate routing like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though that I didn't follow the Fire Rod immediately into Skullwoods, but I felt like I really couldn't justify it at the time because the mirror also gave me Hera, and I was really worried about Hera because I did the mountain so early.
So a question I'm going to have for all runners, but I'll start with you two. You finished CAC and you have Flute and Hook Shot. Nobody made the play to the mountain. Everybody went South Shore. Ultimately, it was the right decision, but I'm just kind of curious to hear the rationale about that.
Well, I mean, like, there were more things I could find that would make the mountain even better. You know, like maybe on South Shore I find the hammer and then I can do Hera while I'm up there. Or I find the mitts, which is exactly what happened, and then I can do Dark Death Mountain while I'm up there. You know, book, safety item for Spike Cave. You know, there's just so many things that could make the one trip to the mountain so much better, but there isn't really anything that's going to make South Shore any better than it is right now with the Flute. And it being such a dense item location, like, it's not a time loss even if I got nothing in Mini Moldorm, because I can be assured that every single runner in this race will go to Mini Moldorm Cave at some point.
For sure. And we'll get some GGs in chat for GFE, who has finished in 7th place overall with a 144.10. Shire was in between Koi and GFE with a 141.34. But yeah, everybody decided to do South Shore, then the mountain, then Eastern, which makes sense. You get that lamp. Somebody did Eastern before Dark Death Mountain. I think it might have been Karnath.
I did Eastern before Death Mountain.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to do Eastern before Death Mountain, especially with where the bow was, because not everybody is guaranteed to keep track of the prize pack and know that they could have gotten a bomb from the rats.
Yeah, keep track of the prize pack and just continue to kill rats and hope that that prize drop shows up in time.
I did
Hey,
Mountain first on the hope that I could pair it with Pod later.
I tried that kill all the rats because there's a bomb. It didn't work.
I think I had to
I
kill like
got a
15
bomb.
rats.
I got my bomb as I went up the stairs
Aww.
to leave escape. It's like, well, great. I'll come back here later.
GGGFE. We were just discussing that, the unfortunate Bombos and the hammer on Pendant Moth.
What was unfortunate about Bombos? That was
Yeah,
a good
it's actually
time.
it's actually kind of nice with Ambrosia too, because like you like completely
Hammer.
justify for killing Lambo.
Hammer was completely rude, but Bombos felt okay because I'd already killed Lando.
Did anybody have a Bombos Go mode?
Yeah,
had
I
one
did.
with their mode.
Oh my god. Fucking Ice Rod, man. So I find out about Bombos, I guess, earlier than you guys, and I know it's required, but wow, I need Bombos and an Ice Rod, so I ended up full clearing Swamp.
Oh man. And just
man.
when I was thinking that surely everyone went to Pod before they found that stupid hammer in this seed.
Because I turned around with the mirror. I find mirror in Hype Cave and I turned around. I should have just kept going to Pod like I wanted to. Because it would have been like the
I
long
actually-
call, but it would have saved time.
I went to Pod before that. I completely forgot I had flippers, so chat got to see me do a kern jump with flippers.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that.
Can't fail it. There is zero chance of failing it.
Oh man. Oh, I didn't know what I'd done until like much later in the seed when I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that's why that worked, because I could have sworn that my setup was a little bit off, so I was expecting to fail it, and then I didn't. That explains why.
It's also made a relatively close finishes between
Man.
the three of us. So
Yeah,
often.
pretty good overall. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do against Blaine, right? Somebody just teach me the Blaine route every time.
No, I don't even feel bad about losing to Boyne, because like the gap between our times and Boyne is not as much as the gap between his NMG time and mine. So I feel like maybe I had a better route than Boyne. He just is better at doing things quickly. It's possible.
So how did you guys route GT?
Hope route.
I think I did that one
Hope
too.
left. Yeah, I did Dark Magician, so lost a little bit of extra time there.
Should have gone full right, man.
That's what I said.
Full right's
Somebody-
almost the play. Actual Dark
if you yeah.
If there had been a key in Hope Room, I would have.
I know, I was really thinking about it.
It's
Like
'cause there was.
I like going full right when I have like half magic and the silvers, because I know like I'm not gonna have any trouble with any of the rooms and it's gonna be a quick Armos fight. But there wasn't a key, so I'm like, all right, let's do the Hope route. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I almost checked Tower Room. I have this little like meme I like to do. If I get 4 keys doing Dark Magician before I get to Tower Room, I just like to check it. Because chances are it's not a key, at least.
Yeah, that's true.
That seems
Did you guys check
logical.
any hints?
Yeah,
I didn't.
I remembered
I
2.
checked like found out that there was some cash behind the hook shot. That's about it.
When I was walking up to Zora, I'm like, oh yeah, the hint tile in Eastern, rip. And then I remembered Hera like about 10 minutes after I was in there. It's like, oh, it's 2 hints I could have got. So I ended up checking only Spectacle Rock Cave, which said there's a heart container on a boss, which was actually 3 different bosses. And then the desert hint, which ruled out Graveyard Ledge, which was, kind of nice.
Yep, meant that once you got your boots, you could do a perma mirror and just do the boots checks real quick right there.
Except I had boots long before mirror.
Yeah, Koi was the last one to the boots, unfortunately.
Awesome. That's great. That's
awesome. My Dark World route was to go north, check Skull Woods, then I went to Bumper Cave and just went straight for Catfish, Pyramid, and Pod.
So I get late boots, I full clear swamp, and my go mode is the ice rod. And I still got 5th place. I can't be upset about this. I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
That's
and
not
I guess
too bad.
you didn't even get to skip much Pod because the big key was in Dark Maze, right?
Yeah. I didn't hammer jump either, so I basically full clear it.
Did anyone gamble skipping the big chest in TR?
Karnath almost did. He didn't realize that the big key was vanilla in there, and so he was just gonna go straight right after the double pokies, and then realized, I need the big key.
I guess it wouldn't have been that bad a gamble since we already had a small key. That's dangerous.
Exactly. Though. We got 3 keys in the front,
That's
so
you
could have gambled skipping the big chest, but it would have been the right call here, but it would have been a risky play.
No, I never skip it if I have vanilla big key. That's my rule.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for the restream. I got to get back to playing even more fun seeds than this one.
Thanks for joining us,
guys.
Koi. Thanks for racing.
GG.
Reminder to go give all of our runners a follow. As Koi said, he's going to be streaming some more rando right away. Karnath has gotten his 7th crystal and is about to go into Ganon's Tower. Picked up the Butter Sword from Laser Bridge, unfortunately doing bottom to top rather than top to bottom.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I'm glad I didn't.
But yeah, so with the Ambrosia, did that alter your routing in any way? Getting that boots hint from Uncle, was that just kind of a more as like, that's a nice to know, or I'm gonna prioritize that?
I'd say sort of prioritized it, but Dark World is such a large area that it's hard to just say, I'm gonna go all over the place. It's not like it said boots are in Skull Woods. If it says that, then yeah, I go Woods when I get the chance. But the biggest thing that Ambrosia changed is just, how you route the dungeons. Routing Hera just felt great in this seed because the basement cage was the first item, and then you knew the second item was on Moldorm. You can just Hera pot and go straight to the boss.
Yeah, that was super nice. I would say that Meyer was one of the other nice ones when you find one of the items in the map chest and then you're just looking for the big key.
Yeah, because of the big key location, still had to check most of it, but it meant you could safely skip cutscene chest and big chest, which was nice.
I'd say the other one that had a nice advantage to was actually in Thieves Town. Unfortunately, Koi has dipped out, but he was the one who put off Thieves Town last because of that late hammer. Everybody else went in there, but you found out as soon as you did the addict that there couldn't be an item in the big chest.
That's one I was going to mention, because if I'd had hammer at the time, it doesn't save much time, but I would have skipped opening blind sale. But the reason I did is I wanted to know the logic. I wanted to know if whatever item was on blind would be hammer locked or not. And since I found a small key in blind sale, that meant if I got something on blind, it was not behind the hammer.
Yeah, that made sense.
I think the only dungeon I forgot I was in Ambrosia was Skullwoods. When I found the first item in the front, I kept on going to the bumper room and just forgot.
I thought you were just grabbing an extra small key to make your trip to the back better at some point.
And not bad idea, but I still had the pot key, so I wouldn't have been worried about that.
That's fair. Any other thoughts about Ambrosia? Do you like it as a mode, or is it more just kind of a fun gimmick once in a while?
It's a fun change of pace. I've only played 3 Ambrosia seeds, so technically this is my PP on Ambrosia, but with this seed, you just had to go everywhere. It was nice to get to Go Mode Swamp at least, and Go Mode T-Rock, if you can call it that in this seed. It's always nice to have a different change of pace every now and then from just the normal, standard, or open. But I'm gonna get off now, let you guys focus on Karnath. Thank you for the commentary, Mind of Me. Look forward to seeing what you had to say about us. Thanks to Link Force for the tracking. Always useful to have someone out there. I don't know if there was a second at one point or not. I figure it's hard to track 4 people.
Link Force was a trooper and tracked all 4 himself.
Wow, GG's, man. That's great. And thanks to all the Speed Gaming crew, as always.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for racing. Congratulations on the race, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you much.
All right, we will continue. Yulo, if you like to hang out with us, you're feel free to, or if you'd like to head out, we certainly understand that as well. We just want to say again, congratulations on your performance on the restream, and not a bad performance overall. 3rd overall in this kind of field isn't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, like ditto to what GFE said. Thanks to all the restreaming commentators and whatnot that you guys put on these shows, and I kind of zoned out a bit there because I was watching GDQ at the same time as racing.
Absolutely understandable. Well, if you'd like to continue watching, that's more than understandable. We just wanted to say congratulations again, and we're nothing without talented racers like you on stream. So thank you very much for volunteering.
Thank you guys, and yeah, I think I'll dip out. I gotta see what's happening in the house because it's my birthday, so I want no surprises. So I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Well, happy birthday and take care.
Thank you, and take care as well.
Karnath going for Buttersword strats on Landmo 2. Maybe take out a little bit of frustration on the worms, even if silvers are a little bit quicker. But up to Wizrobes 2. Just a reminder again to follow all of our runners. Into Wizrobes 2 doing... Oh, was going for the right setup rather than the left setup. Both are absolutely valid. It's just that most runners go for the right setup because the timing on the spike is a bit more convenient. But I imagine knowing that he had last location stumpy, maybe just because he was anxious to go back. I think he was carrying the frog at that time. And they're just waiting for the door to close so he doesn't accidentally despawn the tower. Tracking tracker telling us that he went by it twice because he had them, of course, because he went and got the mirror out of Hype Cave. I'm assuming he thought, when he went by it the first time, that was just an honest mistake. And then when he went past it the second time, he thought, oh, well, I obviously checked Stumpy when I came back here with the frog. But we'll see if he joins us for an interview later. On to Moldworm 2. No issues at all with the butter sword. And rather, leaving a present for Moldworm on his chest. There is absolutely a lot of pressure, especially when you're in a race. And we're seeing the same set of awful Aga patterns that we saw from the other runners. Having a little bit more luck with Karnath's having a little bit more luck with them. Gets Aga down. And we'll have a very easy Ganon fight. Butter sword and silvers. As soon as he makes his way into the pyramid. Same 4 cycles. Or rather, same 4 phases. Phase 1 and 2 are the only ones affected by the butter sword. It is only 6 slashes each for phase 1 and 2 with the butter sword. Phases 3 and 4 are identical, rather if you have tempered or butter, 4 slashes each. And for the phase 4, an additional silver arrow, set of 4 silver arrows, rather. And that is the 4th silver arrow for Karnath. Get some GGs in chat for them. Just about to cross the bridge and finishes in 16th place overall with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 19 seconds. We'll see if they're up for an interview. In between GFE and Karnath, we had several racers. We had Ninban, Frostbite, T-Stew, Old Man Sunshine, Matt7898, Falcon Can, and Nolando. And we are joined by Karnath. GG's, and oh, our heart was breaking for you about that, the Cane of Samaria.
I could not believe I forgot that.
I think what happened was that you did your dig game, then you went and got the frog. And you were coming back with the frog and must have thought that, oh, I've already done this. And then went straight to Hype Cave.
And that was exactly it, because I had done the shovel. I was like, oh wait, I've already been up to the forest. I don't have to do that again. And well, yeah, it never like full clearing a game when you forget a.
Yeah, it was, ouch. It hurt, because other than that, there was so much open to you early. You were one of the first ones who got the boots on Restream. You persisted with farming the rats in the back of Escape for that first bow.
I was so happy when I saw that.
And other than that, everything else, you were making the right calls for that. You had Ether when you were into Mire.
Yeah, and I guess the only good thing about not finding Samaria for so long is it did force me to do all the dungeons, because apparently I needed bombos.
Yeah, you were the only one who didn't check PED. Koi checked it on the way back to Skullwoods because he had the fire rod first before anybody else. Everybody else grabbed fire rod, mirrored to check PED, then just, oh, well, I guess I'm going to kill the moth anyway.
Oh yeah, when that hammer fell on Moth, I was like, oh god, because I was thinking about doing Moth before, and I was like, no wait, why would I do that when I can go straight to Ice, and then, well, need hammer to full clear.
Yeah, and then, of course, it totally makes sense for you to go and finish dungeons, because you know Helmasaur has an item, you know Cold Stare has an item, you know that, there's all those items in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it was. I did not enjoy that logic. I mean, hiding the hammer behind the bat, well, fire rod to the bat, that was.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
And I was kind of kicking myself for it too, because the first time I was going through there, like when I started with the purple chest, I thought about just, going do that. But I'm like, well, it's such a time sink if it's nothing. And, well, it would have been, well, heck, like half an hour of my time.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that's rando for you.
Yeah, oh yes.
Have you done many of the Ambrosia seeds? How about your thoughts about this kind of particular mode and how it changes maybe dungeon routing?
I think this is only my second Ambrosia, and I actually kind of enjoy having the items on the bosses like that. Like, there was a lot of times, like when I was going into Mire, I got my first item. I'm like, well, I can nope out of here because I know the cane and the hammer aren't here.
Yep, same thing with Thieves Town. That you realized as soon as you opened up the attic that, well, the last item's on the boss. Don't need to worry about anything else.
Yeah, so I think if I had followed a little more of my gambles, it might have worked out better. But, well, like you say, that's rando, and I'm not disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not really thrilled with my finish.
Well, at least thank you for showing us where that last sword was and where all 3 shields were.
I'm glad to entertain.
Any other thoughts on this seed about your decisions other than like Samaria? It was one of those things where a lot of had early Dark World access, early Death Mountain access, and you could clear Eastern early. Lots of good options to start with.
That's the thing. I usually prefer a slightly more linear. Having full open world that early always terrifies me because literally, like, you can go anywhere. But no, I think there was nothing really wrong with the seed. Just a couple of bad decisions. But well, hey, I'm just frankly happy for the
Well, you're very welcome. We enjoyed having you on there, and yeah, our hearts all broke when we realized, oh no, it's Stumpy. Oh no. But at least it kept you out of Turtle Rock, and we didn't have a go mode Ice Rod.
Oh, I'm guessing that was a few people had that issue.
Only Koi, actually.
I will definitely have to check out the restream.
Any other thoughts as we wrap up?
No, the only thought is thanks so much for hosting, of course, and to our trackers and all those other wonderful people that helped to make this.
Alrighty then. Well, for that, I think that we're gonna wrap this up for tonight. Speed gaming a little bit lighter than normal because we've got so much of our crew and our runners that we love to restream out at GDQ. But there are going to be some ALTTP on the language channels. There is one for the Spanish tournament and the German tournaments tomorrow. There is also a Super Mario Galaxy match on Speed Gaming on the main channel at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then starting back on Sunday, we're going to dive right back into the tournament matches, having a full schedule on the day after GDQ ends. So stay tuned for that. Once again, please give all of our runners a follow. They all do fantastic work. And please, please follow our tracker Link Force, an absolute stellar performance as a solo tracker of 4 runners. Take it from me, that's not an easy job. But for that, I think I'll sign off and remind you to follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. We also have language channels in Deutsch, Espanol, Francais, and Portuguese. I am Mind of Me, and with that, take care, everybody.